my friends, and welcome back to Coffee Tea Paper. This week 44, it's now November, and if you saw my earlier video that I posted where I unboxed my new journal, you'll see that I'm very taken with it. It's a beautiful collaboration between the Traveller's Notebook Company and the Superior Labour, and I also got this matching pouch, and so I have a couple of ideas for this journal, but that's not for now. But this week I am devoting my little spread to a celebration of this journal and also the Superior Labour Company. It's got quite an interesting background. It was founded in 2007, hence the 15-year anniversary, and the gentleman who founded it, he actually has turned or is turning 50 this year as well, and he actually originally was a motor mechanic and had an affinity for all things machined and I guess like raw metal and those sorts of things. And so I find it really interesting because he also went to America and he was involved in sourcing vintage denim jeans, and and I think it's really interesting that you can see, I guess, that love of kind of those very raw machined materials in his products. The canvas of the bags and pouches, the leather, raw leather detailing, really heavy duty brass hardware and rivets and zips, and additional details of paint. So I just wanted to do a little homage, as they say, to not only to celebrate the arrival of my journal, but also for a really interesting company. So Makoto Kawai, who is the founder of the Superior Labour, has a really beautiful, I guess, ethos about when he moved his manufacturing to an old school building in a fairly remote part of Japan. And he says, "The colder the winter is, the more I feel the warmth of spring, and the more I love and enjoy summer to the fullest." And I think that's really beautiful. It's about, recognizing and appreciating what you have in the moment, but also anticipating what's to come as well. And then his last bit is because it's in quite a remote area of Japan, and obviously he's really experiencing the four seasons there. But he also says the cell phone signal is weak, which if you're running a business, doesn't matter how I guess, yeah, the beautiful lifestyle and the scenery and the remoteness, and of course, the pictures. I'd love to go there one day, but the pictures are of a beautiful forested area. But the realities of running a business is that you have to be able to contact people and have a website, and yeah, so you need all those things as well. So I think he must be quite an interesting man, and I think he's probably led a very interesting life. And anyway, so in my spread here, I wanted to use some of the packaging, but then I wasn't quite happy with the scale of it, so I printed it out and enlarged everything just slightly so that it would have a better scale for my journal page. As a background, I've just used some torn brown paper, which is a very simple material, as well as some vintage Japanese, and I think it's a prayer book. Yes, that I got in a vintage paper pack from a shop here in Australia called UKI, UKI, and they specialize in kokeshi dolls, which is quite interesting, like vintage kokeshi dolls. So then I wanted to highlight the location of the superior labour, and what better way to do that but to draw a map. And I really wanted all the elements to interact with each other, so I positioned it, you saw me sort of faffing around with where to start there. So I positioned it to spread across from the packaging, the paper, the November stamp, and onto some of the vintage Japanese paper as well. I also slightly miscalculated because the location is just in between the N and O of November, but that's okay. So I've just done a pull out and arrow to highlight the that spot. I've also tried to use a variety of different fonts today, just to mix up that look. Sometimes it can get a bit busy if you use a lot of different fonts, but I just wanted to have a really eclectic look, because if you notice on both the journal cover as well as the pouch, there's a big mix of different fonts on both of those items, and it actually really works. They really work well together. And a mix of capitals and upper and lower case, and but somehow it just really works, and it looks very aesthetic. So mine's a little bit of a not quite as aesthetic as theirs, but I was really just trying to get that same feel. That piece of washi tape with the binding there, with the double circle binding, that was what Joanne had put on the Traveller's Times newsletter to secure it into a tube, so it wouldn't get crushed in the parcel. And so I really wanted to incorporate that into my spread as well. And going back to my university days of doing cartography and geography before we were allowed onto the computers to do geographic information systems. The old school way was to colour in with pencils. This is probably more a technique from primary school. But yeah, I still think that maps are done in this way with a little fringe of water, it really gives me a very nostalgic feel, and I've made a mental resolution to try and incorporate more of them into my journal spreads where relevant. And here I'm just coming in with some blue and red stamps to mimic the elastic colours that came with the journal as well. And yeah, anyway, it's just a little one this week. It's just been a crazy week, and I just see it ramping up more and more, but I will do my best to still be here and make some fun and interesting videos. I've got a whole list of things, it's just a matter of finding the time. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being here, and yeah, I hope you have a great week, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.